Chapter 1. As soon as she heard the ring, Grace knew there would be no answer. Every mother recognized that ring, the one where you could just sense your child wasn't going to pick up.
Hi, it's Em. Leave a message.
Grace had hoped to reach Emma. She was hours late, but she still smiled at the sound of her daughter's voice as she raced through LAX, cell in one hand, wheelie handle in the other, veering past a food stand, around a woman pushing a stroller, and almost sideswiping a man in a motorized wheelchair. Oh my God, I am so sorry. Good grief, she was running down babies and seniors. Grace, get a grip. Beep. Honey, it's Mom. I'm really sorry, Em. The plane was late, there was weather out of Green Bay. I missed my connection in Chicago, and... What was the difference, Grace thought? Emma would only care that her mother wasn't there again when she got home. I'm going straight to the set, so don't worry if you don't see my suitcase when you get home. Just start your homework. I'll bring sushi for dinner, okay? I love you. Grace picked up her bag and raced down the escalator steps, breaking into a run as she dragged it to the parking lot. It was a perfect spring day in Los Angeles. Sunshine and bright blue sky a world apart from the foggy dawn darkness of New London, Wisconsin, where she'd started her day 10 hours ago. Grace's phone rang. Great, Emma was calling back. Sweetie? Don't sweetie me. We still have 6 scenes to cover today. Where is my trusty assistant? Are you back in L.A.? With the time difference, it was only lunchtime in L.A., so Grace still had half a day of work ahead of her. Ken, I feel terrible. You were wonderful to have Emma stay with you, but the flight was late. I left you a message about the connection. Yeah, I got it. Just glad you're back. And heads up, we're gonna run late. Artie's out of control again. Grace sighed. Artie was the director of the show she and Ken were working on, The Lost Ones. He was a creative genius, but his management style was terrible. Ken was an amazing godfather, letting Emma stay with him while Grace was in Wisconsin. Ken adored Emma, and his domestic skills were, Grace had to admit, 1,000 times better than her own. But Emma was only 14, and the reality was that Ken had a very high-pressure job as a head stylist for a hit TV show. I tried calling Emma. She's probably at lunch. Leeza asked me to stay a bit longer. The flights were delayed, but I'm here now. His voice softened. It's okay, Grace. Just get here when you can, honey. How's our fighter doing? Not great. Grace had managed to miss her connection, but she'd spent an extra day with Leeza, and right now that was what mattered. Ken understood. Grace and Ken were taking turns helping Leeza and her family. Back in high school in New London, where they'd all grown up, Grace, Leeza, and Ken had joked they were closer than the 3 Musketeers. I'll fill you in later. Grace sighed, thinking of that morning. Be there shortly. Pulling onto the 405 headed north, Grace groaned. The freeway was a parking lot. She'd have to get off at the first exit and take Sepulveda, or, if that was blocked, another surface street all the way to Century. This was going to be a long, painful exercise in stop and go. She looked at her reflection in the rearview mirror. Good Lord, Grace thought. There were circles under her blue eyes, her skin was paper white. She looked like she hadn't slept in 3 days. This crazy schedule that left Grace exhausted and racing from L.A. to Wisconsin and back had started last fall during the annual Fall Family Fun Fest. The leaves were in full fall color. Music and the smell of sausages, cheese, and beer filled the air all week. Grace, Ken, and Leeza had been going to the festival together since they were kids, and even though Grace and Ken had moved away, they wouldn't have missed it for the world. Like New London's huge St. Patrick's Day parade, the Fall Family Fun Fest was a town tradition. On the last day of the festival this year, Grace and Leeza stole a quiet moment to talk while they watched Grace's daughter Emma and Leeza's little Sarah dance around the town square. I can't believe I actually live in L.A., Grace had mused. Me, a die-hard Midwesterner. Now Ken, that I believe. He's taken to it like a duck to water. In fact, he is a duck on the water. You should see his houseboat. Grace had chattered on in the way lifelong girlfriends do, filling Leeza in on the latest annoyance with Brian, her ex-husband. I guess he's moving into a huge loft in Chicago, Grace had sighed, reclaiming his lost bachelorhood.